FIFA franchise coming to an end, I thought, you know what? I might as well torture myself. You can tell by the title already, we have gone back to FIFA 18 for a classic retro rebuild. We are embarking on possibly one of the toughest challenges I have ever faced on this channel, and that is by rebuilding the worst team in FIFA history. That's right, I've gone back through history to see what the worst team ever in a FIFA game was, and that award goes to Ireland's own Galway United. Look, Ed Sheeran might have a song about you guys, but you don't really have the best football team of all time. It's safe to say, with half a star rating, the Irish have an attack of 52 midfield, 52 defense. I mean, I guess you can say they're consistent at least. And you just know that means we have to go back and try and take them to the ultimate glory, the Champions League title, or as it was called in FIFA 18 Career Mode, the Champions Cup. We're gonna do whatever it takes, I don't care. We're taking the worst team to ever exist in the whole game's history and transforming them into a global superpower. Of course, if you guys enjoy the retro FIFA content, make sure to drop it a like down below. Hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, and let me know down in the comments below what other retro rebuild challenges do you think I should take on before the new era begins and FC 24 drops. I mean, just look at the state of this team. Look with what we're working with here. This is probably going to take me days to record. I don't even know if it's possible without getting sacked to take this team to the top. You know, we're working with a 51 rated striker and a 49 rated defender. To be fair, he's probably better than Harry Maguire. They haven't even got that much depth either. A couple of 40 rated players on the bench. Yeah, we are definitely in the trenches.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
We're probably going to be relying on a lot of loans, free agents, bargain basement deals with a transfer budget of just over 700k. It's tough out here, but at least we have the transfer budget adjustment slider back. We'll let Sir BCHD Cook whip up some of his magic and see what he can pull off in this first summer transfer window. I've got so many Scout Future Stars to redeem. It's not a feature anymore in career mode, so for old time's sake, let's run it back and redeem ourselves a Scout Future Star. We can only use one of these a season though. Now, you already know a complete overhaul of the team is needed, so we're just going to straight up sign a bunch of free agents to the team. They're already way higher overall than pretty much every single player on the roster, so we've got to implement some building blocks, lay those foundations, because everyone on the current roster is probably not going to see the light of day in the coming seasons. It's the small steps, but it's the necessary baby steps we need to make if we want to see this team charge towards the top. And this is the only way we can afford decent players. We've got a bunch of Bolivians, South Americans, players that are somehow more than happy to join the worst team in FIFA history. Now, here is the moment of truth. This could be the make or break point of the rebuild. It's our first Scout Future Star. We'll probably be redeeming these every single season. We've been gifted with Harrison Wilson, an English centre mid, 5'9", 17 years of age, and is already a decent overall to start off with. 60, potential of 87 to 94. Sign him up. We have just landed on a generational talent. Promote him. Here we have it. Wilson, welcome to the team. And who could forget the classic 5-slot training drills? Even though that Scout Future Star was a gift from the heavens, we've still got to make sure we've upgraded every single position in the starting team, and that includes another centre mid and another centre back. This summer, the goal was just to get in as many better players as possible and completely restructure the starting team. It's exactly what we've done. Upgraded every single position, slapped Wilson with this captain's armband. He is going to be here until the very end. Mark my words, remember the name. A future potential Ballon d'Or winner. The kid has the world at his feet. He's got low work rates, which is the only letdown. But that's all we can afford right now. Let's get this first season over with and see if Galway United can push up and challenge for the Irish title. I don't mean to jump the gun here, but we have started this rebuild in the best way possible. Season 1, and Galway United have won the league by 2 points. The worst team in FIFA, we've just transformed into Irish champions. Wangdaile standing up there with the trophy. Very proud. That's our first piece of silverware, and I think that's already a ticket into Champions League qualification. Also, the player of the month goes to our Bolivian striker, the free hitman. It's Vargas up front, and the king also takes home the golden boot. That guarantees European qualification in my books for season 2, whether it's Europa League or Champions League. I think we're in with a shot. not. But let's take a look at the main performers. Which free agent came through and just carried? And it was in fact our Bolivian hitman with 21 goals and 10 assists. Marcos Caicedo on the left providing 14 goals and 3. And it's the Indian up front, Laurindica Ralte with 6 goals and 6. And Howison from the middle of the park with 9 goal contributions. Our Scout Future star who only appeared 13 times. Hopefully that didn't stint his growth and development too much, as he is in fact our highest valued player and the first baller to hit that £1 million valuation. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with at the moment. Players that aren't even valued over £1 million. That took me by surprise. Sir BCHD with the 90 manager rating. Our job isn't in jeopardy. No board troubles here. We're going to transition into season 2 with this unprecedented rise. Who knows what is ahead in this next campaign for the boys in brown. As this season, the financial board has gifted us with only £4 million. Still not much to work with. We might have to again resort to free agents and a Scout Future star to get us over the line and compete in multiple competitions. Gotta make use of these remaining Scout Future stars. I'm probably not gonna play FIFA 18 again for quite some time, so we're gonna redeem another one of the high-end Scout Future stars. Let's hope it brings us back another generational talent. Maybe striker, a defender would be nice. We've got an abundance to purchase, so at the start of every season, the Scout Future stars are gonna keep on coming. I know this game doesn't have dynamic potential, but let's see if we can fully realize this training feature and get the best out of these guns. I never thought I'd say this quickly, but I can confirm our first official purchase, and that'll be of the ex-Man United wonder kid. You can say he's a failed wonder kid these days, Angel Gomez. He'll be linking up with his fellow countrymen in the middle of the park. We pick him up from Mourinho's Manchester United for just over £1.25 million. We have officially broke the bank for this kid. He's bankrupted us. But trust me, if you know anything about his potential on this game, he is an investment for the future, a long-term purchase. And before the market even opens, we're going to add a little bit more striker depth here with the free agent Eero Makinen, the Finnish striker who adds a little bit of experience. He's 26. He's bloody 7 foot tall by the looks of things, so we'll be signing him up on a free. What a jersey. Tigres FC. Pat yourselves on the back. That's a collector's item if I've ever seen one. Now here's the moment of truth part 2. It's the second future star to rock up at our doorstep, and this time we get delivered a left mid, the Dutchman Luke Peters, who is 17, technically gifted, 62 overall, and this time a little bit more of a wider potential range, 80 to 94, already with a 675k market value, and another young gun who I'm sure is aiming for the stars. Just another brilliant talent to add to the roster. We've had to delve into the free agency again, and this is where we're going to, beef up the squad, add a little bit of squad depth, especially if we're participating in the European competition. So we've got 2 Chinese lads, Yu Yang at centre back. You can also play at right back. He comes in as a backup option for a centre half. We've got Piao Cheng, who will fill in at midfield when needed. A CDM / centre mid that will be useful, in and off the bench. The Egyptian Afro of Samir El Sheikh. Not that we need another cam right now, but he can also play at right wing. He's 22, because he can be a secret weapon, a hidden gem to bring in off the bench. Gomez in that advanced midfield role. We've got Markkanen finishing up top with Vargas. There's no Galway United originals here. It is just an entirely brand new setup we've introduced. Did we do enough to retain their title, defend the crown? Well, we're going to find out in season 2, because the self-proclaimed worst team in FIFA history have the chance to participate in Europe. I didn't check in on this last season, but let's just take a look at some of the most expensive transfers and just have a throwback. The OG transfers that the CPU would always make, as the most expensive one has gone Thiago back to Barcelona for £80 million. We've got Dele Alli to Manchester City, Thomas Lemar to Man City too, and just Monaco selling off their whole entire team like they did in real life. Fabinho sold to Milan, Rabiot off to Milan, Mateo Kovacic instead of going to Chelsea joined Liverpool. We've got Sanabria off to Dortmund. But the market inflation just after Neymar left the PSG hasn't really kicked in yet. There are still some sensible deals going on in terms of, the money spent. El Shaarawy off to Real Madrid. That's a crazy one. Tellez didn't go to Manchester United because he chose Villarreal. Instead, they signed Lucas Digne and stopped him from going to Aston Villa. We've got Matteo Politano instead of choosing Inter joining Atletico Madrid. And all the storylines and dramas going on in the background. They've changed history in this save. Forget the Galway girls. It was the Galway United boys to go back-to-back in the Irish Airtricity League. They're champions this time with no real competition. 78 points, a 20 gap margin over Shamrock Rovers. And continentally, after failing to qualify for the Champions League, they lost to playoff and ended up in the Europa League, or as it was called in these days, the Euro League, finishing bottom of the group, but a respectable 2 draws in their debut European campaign. With their first foray into European competition, the effort doesn't go unnoticed as the top goal scorer again, the bagsman himself, Vargas, with 18 goals. That caps off Season 2 beautifully. We can go again. We have another shot at qualifying for the Champions League, or at least the Europa. Now let's see who's carving their names into the history books, who have been the top performers, and again it's the Bolivian 24-year-old up front with 21 goals and 11 assists. Another South American running the show, Marcus Caicedo, on the left with 20 goal contributions. Piao Cheng, who I thought was just going to be a backup midfielder, but he really took charge in the center of the park, 13 goals and 4. And Harrison Wilson, the generational scout future star, with a +9, now becomes one of the best players in the squad. Their captain improving leaps and bounds, only 19 appearances though, 3 goals and 1 assist. Angel Gomez failed to impress, but he is still only 18, so he's got time on his side. And the Dutch scout future star from this season, Luke Peters, with only 7 appearances, but 2 goals and an assist, shows some promising signs. And we're starting to get up there when it comes to our financial pedigrees. We've been gifted with £5.31 million, which just feels like so much at this level. The sudden urge in me to splurge on a few like hidden gem wonder kids, some road to glory options, or just go all out on free agents. That's right, we're redeeming yet another one. It's the 3rd of the video, 3 seasons in a row, and fingers crossed we get a generational talent that actually suits our needs this time. Now back in these days, release clauses were so much more overpowered just because EA couldn't be bothered programming them correctly into the game. So clubs barely updated the release clauses of their players, so that means when they got better, the release clauses were easier to activate. So here, Kick Pieri, the Dutch centre back, can also play at left back. He's 18. We've activated that £2.95 million release clause for a player nearly valued double that, as the Dutchman will become our brand new starting defender. Some more good news in this off-season, our scout has come back with our scout future star, Youth Academy wonder kid. Okay, the career mode gods have listened to me, and we've been gifted with a kid born to play at the back, Alfie King. He ain't no prince, he's physically strong, only still 15 years of age, so we can't even call him up to the first team yet. He is still cooking up there in the academy. 84 to 94 potential isn't too bad either. This kid has first team potential written all over him. It's only a matter of time until he comes through and partners up with Pieri at the back. Unfortunately, we ran out of the funds to purchase the young Belgian Miles Filia. However, every cloud has a silver lining, because we were able to stumble upon the 6'6" god hailing from the Czech Republic, Jiří Bodil, the 19-year-old free agent goalkeeper who I'll happily accept. A potential Petr Cech regen, who knows? He's missing the helmet, which is quite unfortunate, but if he's anything, if he's half the player that Cech was, we've got a special player on our hands. Let's face it, we just aren't that guy yet. We're still gonna have to focus on scouting free agents and relying on cheap deals to get us over the line. So I've stumbled across 2 newly generated players. We've got some more midfield cover here with the Scotsman Stephen Mulgrew. He'll be a lovely addition to the squad just as a backup player to provide a little bit of depth, and someone else who could add a little bit more range to our attack. He kind of has that Aguero aura about him. It's Thomas Martinelli, the Argentine striker, only 19, 5'9". We could turn him into an absolute superstar here in Ireland, so welcome to the club, my son. In today's market, £1.5 million isn't buying you much. Don't you just love the OG scheduling bug that used to happen, playing 2 games in 2 days? No wonder why we can't qualify for the Champions League. And I'm happy with what we've built so far. Add a little bit more depth, 2 quality signings at the back. Marinelli starting up top with Vargas. Hopefully the Bolivian can teach him a thing or two about scoring. It's 4-4 FN2, baby. We're just revolutionising Irish football as we speak. And the biggest transfer of the window so far throughout the whole entire world has been Nicolas Sula to Liverpool for £78.8 million. And Belotti looks like he's replaced Harry Kane at Spurs for 61.1. Oh, and Malcolm. Whatever happened to good old Malcolm? That seems like a transfer that would happen nowadays. Chelsea spending over £60 million on a Brazilian winger. You can't fault FIFA 18. It's doing its best attempt at staying realistic. Of course, we lost those Champions League playoffs, so we've put into the Europa League again, this time drawn into Group F. Can this team handle multiple competitions and competing back to back? I guess we're gonna have to find out at the end of Season 3. Now, we've gotten to the stage where we've built up the team enough where they're just walking the Irish domestic competition. League champions, 3 seasons in a row from one of the worst teams in Ireland, if not the world. Now they're battling up there with the big boys in the Europa League, but unfortunately they couldn't make it out the group, again finishing rock bottom. But hey, they've managed their first win in a European competition, 4 points, as the first piece of cup silverware still evades them as they lost out to Sligo Rovers in the EA Sports Cup, or the Irish Domestic Cup, 1-0 in the final. We gotta trust the process here. Building enough quality and depth for them to compete in Europe is gonna be a tough challenge, especially with their current financial state, but it's slowly but surely building, as again, our top goal scorer 3 seasons in a row, the Bolivian bagsman himself, Rodrigo Vargas, 21 goals and 12 assists. He just delivers numbers as Thomas Marinelli, the right-hand man by his side. I'm sorry I called you Martinelli earlier on, but at age 20, scored himself 11 goals and 2. Caicedo is the second player to have double figures in both departments with 10 goals and 11. This would be a beautiful time to convert him into a right mid, but that didn't make its way into the game until FIFA 21, as Piao Cheng proves to be a valuable Chinese asset. 7 goals and 5 assists from centre mid. Harrison Wilson again, nearly becoming an 80 rated player in the process, 6 goals and 3. Angel Gomez with a much improved campaign, 4 goals in 20 appearances. Luke Peters wins the award for most improved, and Petacek's regen in between the sticks. He scored himself 13 clean sheets. As we progress through to season 4, Sir BCHD, we're starting to turn this around here with Galway United, establishing their name not only domestically, but simultaneously on the continental scene. And we're about to up the ante in season 4. Let's oge. After the pre-season tournament, we've been gifted with around £6 million left to splash. We're grinding our way to the top. You can see the hustle, but nowhere near the amount of funds we need to properly compete, but we can work with it. And this guy, he's just gonna feel like a brand new signing from the youth academy. We're giving our fit king the call up, 6'4", which I didn't even realize. I don't know what they were feeding him in the youth academy, but has potential to be special. And there's our centre back spot sorted for the next 10 seasons for the entire rebuild. Now this campaign is gonna be defined by roster management. It's time to just be cutthroat and get rid of these Galway United OGs that we're just not gonna use. They're not good enough. They're not gonna see the light of day, and they're just taking up too much of our salary bill every week. We're gonna take a slight financial hit, but trust me, everything's gonna pay off eventually. Now, some of our biggest achievements in this transfer window has been on the outputs front, selling off a couple of those players, flipping the free agents for a combined value of nearly £1.5 million. Financially, that's allowed us to break the bank on a left back. I know it's quite risky, just like a luxury position to have in the team, but it's our first major money signing, smashing this club's transfer record for £8.8 million. Who remembers this guy? Gianluca Itza. He was a go-to left back signing, a wonder kid who we actually purchased from Barcelona in the save, but it's originally from Wolfsburg. With 85 potential in FIFA 18, he was always on my radar, and the German will slot straight into the first team starting 11. Now, with all our resources being depleted to zero, nothing left in the transfer budget, the free agent transfer strategy was well and truly back. You can always rely on them, as we picked out a couple players that we needed to beef up the team, improve our depth, and in certain positions, we've upgraded both wing-back spots as we've introduced Juan Barrientos, the Argentine right wing-back. You can start to see a little bit of a South American influence on the team with the pickup of Cavalcante Mendes, the Brazilian centre-forward, just to be a little super sub in and off the bench, and someone to partner up Pierre at the back. King isn't quite ready yet, and we also need a bit more defensive cover, so the Welshman Tom Doidge will join us. Some more midfield presence in there, like the Frenchman Antoine Sochaud, and the young Brazilian with another comically long name, the Cam. We're taking a punt with these guys. We know they might be filled with potential, or if not, if they fall by the wayside, we can always cash in on them and make a profit. And the best out of the bunch in this free agents batch, Frederic Poha, 19 years of age, is an exciting prospect, a £10 million market value, an absolute gun that we can easily slot on the right. And I might be getting a little bit greedy here, but it'll be the last time I redeem one of these. I just gotta take advantage. I miss this feature, man. Why has this been removed? And before the servers shut down next month as well, we've got another Scout Future star for the 4th season running, a generational striker or right winger. That'd probably put the icing on top of the cake. And the moment of truth again. What has the Scout brought back to us? And our 4th Scout Future star is Portuguese centre forward, 17, old enough for the first team, Florencino Caldera. He's technically gifted 61 overall, 87 to 94 potential, with a market value of 550k. Have we just stumbled upon the next Eusebio? This is where I wish we had the modern day features in these older career modes. The position training would have been a godsend on this bloke. He's getting instantly promoted. We'll chuck him on a few training plans. And just to flex the kind of depth and prosperity we've built so far, we've had to make a second team sheet. The backup brigade is in town and they're ready when called upon. Not gonna lie, we're starting to build something scary here. And the lads have earned it. We have copped our debut Champions League group stage. And look what they've stitched us up with. Pretty much the group of death. Paired up with Man City, Inter, and Sevilla, the Europa League specialists. Yeah, we've got no hope, but at least we're here. It's our debut. It's a major milestone for Galway United, and the City boys are up. Damn, so we're hitting the quadruple on them. 84 points. Still can't finish invincible, though. Galway United on top of the Irish League, but again, the Irish Cup evades them. Going down in the semi-finals this time, but that doesn't really matter when it comes to our European performance in the Champions League. Third spot. Okay, I thought we were destined to finish rock bottom there, but we actually managed 2 wins in the Champions League. Get relegated to the Europa League, where they in fact made it all the way into the round of 16. Copping a fat 5-1 aggregate loss, getting a reality check by Nice. That's the furthest they've ever made it in a European competition so far, so you've got to acknowledge the process. What are these lads cooking though? Let's chop in and touch base on the mighty Maroons. It's now a brand new Golden Boot winner. Tommaso Marinelli with 17 goals and 8 assists, copped a long-term injury towards the latter end of the season. The free agent Frederick Poha enjoyed his time out on the right-hand flank, being deployed there, getting himself 14 goals and 4. Angel Gomez really starting to come into his own at the centre attack and midfield spot. It's just a shame. I've only just realised that he's injury prone. The star boy Harrison Wilson with 11 and 7 now really cementing his spot as our captain. Gianluca Itza from left back. I didn't see the German getting 15 goal contributions when I signed him, but I'll take it, as Luke Peters has entered the 80s. 2 players now are in that realm with a +5 to his overall, 9 goals and 8 assists. Alfie King from the back at 17, 4 goals and 1. Igor Mammoth +10, and the Englishman is taking over our backline. And this team is really starting to develop a character, a play style, and a certain energy about them. From one of the worst in FIFA history now to one of the most promising. Now it's time to just build a squad for Europe. The Champions League is calling Galway United's name, and let's just aim for that qualification again. Half a decade into the rebuild here, as we've been gifted with just over £7.4 million. A little bit more cash to work with this time, but it still feels like little to nothing in this kind of economy. Fuck it, we ball. We are throwing all our eggs into one basket again. Martinelli is calling out for a target man, a big boy to pair with him up top. So we have recruited none other than a young Erling Haaland. Yeah, back in FIFA 18, where he was called Erling Braut Haaland. You don't need to adjust your monitors. What you're seeing is real. Galway United's brand new number 9 arrives for a fee of £11 million at 21. And it's going to be like yin and yang up top. A small forward paired with the big boy Haaland at 6'4". The chills and nerves that defenders around the world are feeling right now, it's palpable. The amount of chaos and havoc these two are going to cause up front. It's going to be something else, trust me. To make sure Haaland doesn't join Manchester City and score a bajillion goals a season, he looks better in Galway Maroon anyway. In this market, we were able to offload a couple of players that were surplus to requirements and weren't really first team ballers anymore, like Marcos Caicedo. He's been sold off to Sunderland, just like Patrick Cunningham. The Irishman Galway OG moves to Motherwell, and our finances have gone down the drain. That's why we had to rely on a couple more free agents to enter the team, like the English left back who can play pretty much anywhere on the flanks, Jason Kimwomya, a new backup goalkeeper, Spaniard, possibly a Casillas region, Alejandro Lopez Garote, and a brand new cam in the middle of the park, Fabio Miguel de Jesus Macado. These names are really trying to test me today, aren't they? You hate to see it, the Vargas era is over. Our Bolivian strikers falling behind in the pecking order, but it was a sacrifice we had to make. The Irish agenda is out in force today. I don't know why we keep getting done over, screwed up in these Champions League draws. Paired into Group E with Barcelona, which is going to be a massive one, Sporting and Celtic. It's a doable group. It's easier than last year, but still extremely tough. Now, hey, Spurs won a piece of silverware. FIFA 18, go home, you're drunk. We keep it rocking with this 4-4-2. Let's see if the changes we've made in Season 5 make any impact, and if these lads can even challenge further. This dynasty at Galway United just own the Irish League. 78 points. Still can't finish invincible, which would be nice, but 3 losses all season isn't too shabby when we're trying to focus on other competitions. But it's the Irish Cup that still evades these guys, losing 2-0 to Dundalk in the final. I don't know what's harder to believe, that Irish Cup loss or nearly qualifying for the next round of the Champions League, only losing out on the last day. They did manage 10 points again, were relegated down to the Europa Europa League, where they failed to reach the round of 16 and were knocked out in the round of 32 to Real Sociedad. They need more European football under their belts, as our top goal scorer this season, Thomas Marinelli, back-to-back golden boots. We are safe without Vargas leading the line up top. 22 goals and 13 assists for the Argentine. He can do both. It's taken a little while for him to warm up, but the English Cam, he's in his bag right now. 14 goals, 14 assists, 19 and 7 for Luke Peters. Some numbers coming in from Leandro Campos off the bench. Frederic Poha, who is now the newest player to enter the 80s range with 7 goals and 4. But the culture, Rodrigo Vargas, is still banging them in. He's still making a few cameos. And how has Gianluca Itta from left back outscored Erling Haaland? Yeah, I don't get it. Haaland's been a flop. The Norwegian Viking with 4 goals and 39 appearances. Bro just relaxed and let Marinelli carry the show, because that is dreadful. Look, I'll give the lad time. It's not the same Haaland that we're used to in present day. Not everyone can click straight away as Alfie King. He's just a towering presence at the back. 2 goals and 2 assists from our golden boy centre half. And who could forget, in between the sticks, the Czech shot stopper Jiří Boril with 16 clean sheets. From the worst team in FIFA history to being whiskers away from qualifying for the UCL knockouts, campaign number 6 with some lofty high expectations, because this has been a meteoric rise that no one saw coming. And after fumbling the preseason tournament, we've been gifted with around £8.5 million. Disappointing numbers. I'm actually really tempted to activate that financial takeover. You know what? We're doing it for the plot. Let's just see how much money this actually gives us if we activate it. Here we go then. We might be gifted hundreds of millions of pounds. We're gonna sit tight and wait for the funds to hit the bank, and it's around £42 million. Like, nothing too crazy. Definitely cash worth investing into a proper first team starter. And given our newfound wealth, I had to go out and spend it. We had to make upgrades, people. We've got a Champions League title to catch, and now we've got a new partner for King at the back, someone more on his level. A new record, £19.6 million on Felix Uduokai, a German centre-half, much older than King, 24 years of age, already 81 overall. It's going to be a brand new starter. He'll pair up with the Englishman at the back. And the next purchase we had to make, a fully fledged right-handed player that can also play on the left. It's the Mexican Diego Lainez. For £15 million on the dot, he signs on the dotted line, and he will become just a great squad player to have. 2 smart investments that are going to take us a long way. Now, if only the Petacek region spawned in like this guy, I would have bought him straight away. You know the vibes. We're working hard behind the scenes. In the background, we've had 2 major ins, both from Watford, which I didn't realize, but yeah, we've got a couple of outs. We've offloaded Markkanen. He's been sold for just over £500,000. The Indian centre-back joins Ipswich. We've got Quinones off to Cardiff City. The Kiwi Howieson, again, another move to Ipswich. He's been sold for £1 million. Piao Cheng, the Chinese CDM, now 33, moves abroad. And our most expensive sale yet. We thought he was going to be the next most seller, but Samir El Sheikh, Sheffield United, purchased his services for £1.1 million. We've been launched into another brutal Champions League group. This time, I hope it's going to be us and Spurs fighting for top spot in Group B alongside PSV and Club Brugge. On deadline day, we've been hit with a couple major injuries to both our English lads, Wilson and King. If we can get through the pain in the short term, we should be able to get through this and be right for the rest of the season. Let's hope Sir BCHD's Galway United can flex their muscle in Season 6 and show the world what the Irish are made of. They've done it again. They've done it again. 6 in a row Irish titles, but this time undefeated actually. I'm impressed. There's something to celebrate here with 23 wins, 10 draws, 0 L's, 79 points, and to top it off, it's a domestic double, taking home the Irish Cup for the first time in the rebuild. Dominating domestically, it's just what they do as we take a look at their Champions League run over in Group B, actually finishing top. Okay, well, technically they finished top, but you can see 3 teams there all getting 10 points. Spurs made it out, PSV relegated to the Europa. That is one wicked way to make it out of the group. Progressing through the knockout rounds for the first time in their history, matched up against Inter, took them down on penalties, and then got smashed right back down to earth. Taught a lesson by Spurs. We won't be writing home about that performance, but it still marks a solid achievement. The mighty Maroons have reached Utopia Season 6, and they've proven that they can do it. That financial takeover wasn't really life-changing money. money. Team chemistry and the morale is so high right now. We're constructing an absolute super team. Mark my words, Thomas Marinelli, he's etching his name into the history books with 21 goals again. This time only 2 assists, but he's firing them into the back of the net. It's what we pay him to do. As the main man on the left, Luke Peters, the scout future star from season 2. Dutchman with 14 goals and 5, but picked up a long-term injury in the second half of the season, so Frederick had to take over. It's 20 goal contributions from the captain Wilson. Leading by example, he's nearly 90 overall. Diego Lainez is just flourishing at right mid, and Florentino Caldeira off the bench with 10 goals. He's a classic super sub we can rely on. And Erling Haaland, as much as I slated him last season, he has picked up the pace a little bit, but I'm sure everyone would love to see those numbers even higher. Only 11 goal contributions in 43 appearances. Again, Jean-Luc Itter is outperforming him at left back. Oh, the allegations are strong and true as the injury-prone Angel Gomez. He's a saint in my books with 4 goals and 8 assists. And talk about saints, Rodrigo Vargas, he still lives deep in the memory. And in between the sticks, we have got a keeper on our hands here. With 49 appearances, Borrell has scored 25 clean sheets and even got himself a cheeky assist. Can still see that golfing class between us and Europe's elite. So on to season 7 we go. So BCHD is showing that he's still got it, even on FIFA 18. And after winning the pre-season tournament, we have been gifted with our highest budget yet, nearly £30 million. And in fact, we are balling on a budget here. It's some bad news for Barrientos at right back, because the first call of business for season 7 was to purchase a little bit more stability on that right hand flank, and to make our entire backline 80 rated plus, it'll be Robert Gumny, the Polish right back. He's arriving from Turkey at Trabzonspor. And we've also been able to lock down this rotational level midfielder, a little backup for Wilson and Gomez. The engine room, it's the Spaniard Javier Maria Pacheco Lobato. And that's a hefty chunk of our transfer budget eaten up right there. Actually, £13.4 million was the official fee. And I don't know, is it just me, or does like the Regen Youth Academy player names just hit different back in FIFA 18 career mode? Like, I swear we don't get names like this anymore. I just feel like a proud father looking back on the quality and depth that we've produced over these 7 campaigns. The backup brigade is looking spot on as our first team lining up for battle. And check in on our Champions League group we've been drawn into here. Let's take a look. Galway United into Group G alongside Milan, Ajax and Celtic. So it's European royalty up against the new boys on the block. It was season 7, it was heaven for Galway at the top of the Irish pyramid again. They've just got that winning DNA installed in them now. A 2-1 win in the cup final, which sees the domestic double. Main question on everyone's lips right now is their European success and the progress so far. They finished top this time without a shadow of a doubt, overthrowing some European royalty in the process in the round of 16. Got through on away goals against Monaco and gave Man City a run for their money, only copping a 4-3 aggregate loss to see them dumped out in the quarters. They're making some solid strides here, I can't complain. It's the furthest they've progressed in the Champions League so far. Statements are being made by this Irish outfit, and I thought most of the goals would come from that devious duo up top, but it's the treacherous little twins in midfield, Pohar and Harrison Wilson. 18 and 7 for Frederick the Frenchman, beginning to be a top player and putting his big boy boots on. Wilson now elevating his game to a 92 overall, the highest rated player. One of the best midfielders in the world. Marinelli up top with 11 and 4, which is quite concerning. I'm expecting a little bit more production out of him, but Diego Lainez on the left is still killing it. 8 goals and 3. There is room for improvement, but like I said, we're just finding so many goals and production out of not just a couple of players, but everyone on the team feels like they can score a goal. Even Alfie King at the back. And in between the sticks, it's Borrell with a consistent, comfortable 13 clean sheets. Oh, it is all starting to come together now, baby. It has been a satisfying mission to say the least, and we haven't even got to the final hurdles yet. Let's see if these club record funds we've been gifted with, nearly £56 million in the piggy bank, instead of pursuing a world-class upgrade in attack, we want to level up our backup brigade, and doing so in stunning fashion. It's a combination of spending the big bucks and balling out on a budget. We've dropped £22.7 million on the young upcoming English defender Dale Fry back in the day. What happened to this guy? Another name that I haven't heard in years. And we're in the market for a new cam, a backup for Angel Gomez. So we picked up another Gomez, this time Sergio, the Spaniard before Pep turned him into a left back. And for £31.8 million, he officially goes down as one of our most expensive signings. So it was a player plus cash package situation, and we had to just take this opportunity to reinforce that midfield department, and we've sought after another free agent, another Spaniard. This time there's a new mayor in town, and it's Juan Moreno. Here's a Champions League situation in Season 8. They've been drawn into Group H alongside Juventus, Brighton, okay, and Porto. Once we had all our purchases done, we just went on a loaning spree really on the output front. No major sales, just, you know, sending out these youth academy talents we've picked up over the years to see if the loan deal glitch still works here in FIFA 18. We're cooking up some Galway United heritage right here with our first best team sheet on display. We've got the backup ready to go. We have the depth and quality. Now it's time to execute and hope Martinelli and Haaland's goals can lead us to glory. You already know we're nearly a decade into the simulation, and these are the kind of transfers the career mode AI has whipped up for us. It's classic career mode, just being career mode. It's just routine at this point. It's another day at the office for Galway in the league, and they've reached the golden 80 points but haven't finished invincible. And over in the cup, it's another 2-1 final win against Bohemian. A cheeky domestic double that put them in good stead for the Champions League, coming through in second. Juventus were flawless, but it's progression nonetheless, and as you can see there, they have made an interesting run to a Champions League final. The big dance awaits them against the Gunners. They got the better over Man City this time and dished up their cold serve of revenge to have an opportunity to complete the retro rebuild on a high. Everyone has kind of impressed. They've also kind of had their struggles. The campaigns where they didn't really show up, but others in the team were just there to carry the load. And this year, the unsung hero was our backup right mid Diego Lainez. He showed up with a top goal scorer and performance, the Golden Boot 26-9. Poha knows his way in the kitchen too. Throw him some snails and frogs legs and he'll come back munching with 18 goals and 13. Finally, Thomas Martinelli has stepped up. The Argentine who we knew had it in him, 17 goals and 8. Meanwhile, for his strike partner Haaland, our Norwegian Viking only with 7 goals and 2. But Luke Peters, who had, you know, limited game time, 10 goal contributions, our now 95 rated poster boy Harry Wilson. He has been captain of the Galway ship since season 1, and Barrientos from right back with 5 goals. And unfortunately, it was a little bit of an injury riddled season for Angel Gomez. Thankfully, we invested the cash into a backup cam with 7 clean sheets, although it was Alejandro Lopez Garote who took over, the backup goalkeeper. There must have been an injury to the man. No matter the result tonight, we've just elevated this club to newfound heights, and we're building a lifelong legacy here with the highest valued asset. Of course, it has to go to Wilson with a price tag, think about this, in like the 2017 era of £125 million on the dot. Before we crack into the final, just for old time's sake, I wanted to show you guys the kind of talents I had on the roster, the transfer shortlist that grew every single season, and the type of talents that I wanted to bring in but just were way too expensive, like Malcolm, who's at Chelsea, Jan Vet Up, another failed wonder kid who's made his way onto Hoffenheim, Brian Sessegnon, who stayed loyal to Fulham after all these years, and a North Korean striker who would have just been perfect, Han Kwang-song, the missing wonder kid. No one knows where he's gone, like he's literally disappeared off the face of the earth. Charlie Musonda, who does have that game face scan, he's the classic Chelsea failed wonder kid. Phil Foden, who stayed loyal to Man City, Tammy Abraham, who finds himself at Stoke City, and the list just goes on and on and on. I had big plans, but you know, we didn't really have the financial means to pull many of these off. It's our strongest starting 11 you've all come to know and love, who we're fielding tonight. The Maroon men we've selected to conquer Europe. It's actually wild to think that both these clubs are in the running tonight for their first shot of a Champions League title. We've been gifted with the generic EA treatment. That is the glorious piece of silverware we're fighting for. And what a run it was. Our third English-based opposition in a row, and the Irish are out in force tonight. Big Arsene, he's still at the helm in 2025. That Arsenal away kit just reminds me of like peak Wenger banter era. Prime A of TV as they're lining up with Allison in between the six, Romagnoli at the back, Josh Da Silva, Asensio and Bolo, and Kingsley Coman up front. They're going to be a menacing force, but it'll be Haaland to kick us off tonight and get the proceedings underway. With the top through ball to Asensio, he finds Coman inside. It's Asensio and a last-ditch tackle from King. He's got that dog in him. Being pressured, but it's Arsenal controlling the midfield early on. Gumney now setting up this counter-attack. Martinelli Back inside to Peters, who can put a beautiful ball inside to Haaland to grab his 8th goal of the season. And Erling doesn't need any more chances than that. It is a stunning finish from the Norwegian up front, and especially the type of season he's had. He needed a redemption arc to come through tonight in the biggest of games. He shows up when the team needs him most, and on the left foot, beats out Alisson and his near post. And even Arsene Wenger is copping all the smoke. 1-0 to the boys from Galway. Our boy Gianluca, who can't get the better of him. Mbolo being tracked down by King. It's a lovely ball inside, and it landed perfectly to the grateful feet of Marco Asensio. And it was a simple tap in for the Spaniard. Back to level pegging. That lead didn't really last too long. Getting used to the FIFA 18 gameplay again. Luckily for me, I just did a retro review on it, so the last time I played it was like last week. It hasn't been 6 years between drinks, but still, Arsenal are asking questions. They're knocking on the door. Ooh, brilliant challenge from Gomez, and now Marinelli. There's open space for Haaland here, and Haaland right before half-time, he's pulled his shot wide. A golden opportunity missed by our number 9. I hope you've got your snacks, the popcorn at the ready. Strap in, people. It's going to be a blockbuster finale. Ooh, Angel Gomez. He might be built like a 12-year-old, but he's got the skills to pay the bills. Now cutting back, and he sees Wilson, who wants to pull the trigger. Deflected. King to show why he's a danger from the set piece. Cleared off the line. Oh, Haaland, he's fighting back for it, and he's given up. Oh, referee, let him cook. And there is still time left on the clock. A brilliant interception there. Haaland with a little fake, and he gives it inside to Poha. It's a beautiful long ball to set him up. It's the touch that didn't let him down, and he has slotted away into the bottom left-hand corner, one-on-one with Alisson, and the kid kept his cool. He's another ragtag free agent misfit who is making a name for himself on the biggest of stages. The Galway United Ultras can't believe it, and it's Haaland with the goal and assist. He had ice running through his veins, looking at Alisson eye to eye. He said, "Who's the devil? I'm the devil." Poha, who's just in unlimited space, loves his little connection with Haaland. They could exchange all day, and the cross on the inside finds Marinelli, and that could be the killer blow for Arsenal, which sees Galway United win the Champions League. Still 10 minutes left on the clock, but the Argentine has popped up like a South American fox in the box, striking whilst the iron was hot. And Haaland again instrumental in the build-up play. This time Poha gets the assist, sneaks his way behind Rob Holding like a librarian, and the gaffer Sir BCHD couldn't be prouder. The referee puts Arsenal out of their misery, and we have successfully rebuilt the worst team in FIFA history. We did it through any means possible. Financial takeovers, scout future stars, free agents. You'll watch the master at work who's still got it on these retro FIFAs. Sir BCHD with another brilliant project completed. It was a ride, it was a journey. It took me bloody ages to complete. A couple of days of recording. I would love to pump out a few more of these retro rebuilds before EAFC 24 drops, but I know a lot of you guys dig these retro rewinds and rebuilds. More will be coming, so if you did enjoy and you made it this far to appreciate these Champions Cup celebrations, drop the video a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so you never miss out on any content arriving to the channel. Follow me on all my socials, the links are down in the description below. Make sure to check out any other content, especially the retro stuff. To be honest with you guys, it's some of my favorite videos to make, as we have the captain, the boy, the king himself, Wilson, to grab a hold of the Holy Grail. I'll leave you with the celebrations. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I'll catch you on the very next video.